everyone, and welcome back to the SUGARPLUM's Quilt Along. I'm here with my friend Sherry Noel, and we are so excited to share this quilt with you. We're ready to get started with the construction of the block, but before we do, we want to introduce you to that pattern.
Yes, so welcome and thank you for joining us. So before we get going, I wanted to talk a minute about the pattern. There's a couple of things, one of which is the materials list. So this is on the back page of the pattern, and this is what you will need for each color in total. So if you were not going scrappy and you wanted to just use one red, these are the numbers that you need. And then if you look at page 2 under our welcome section, Sue and I have given you a little bit of an extra tool here if you wanted to follow our colors or our reds and our placements. So this is just a tool for you if you wanted to use more than one red. And that's entirely up to you because you are the boss. You are the boss of this quilt and you are free to do what you want. And maybe you're not even using red, and that's fine too. But I just wanted to point those couple things out. And the other thing too is Sue and I wanted to talk to you about the low volume fabrics. So again, this version behind us is very scrappy. We were kind of challenging ourselves to work just from our stashes and not buying too much more. So it was really a fun challenge. But these are examples of our low volume pinks and our low volume blues and greens. So they are really just softer colors. And you can use one color, you know, like a soft pink and a soft blue in each of the half square triangles in our inner border.
Perfect, yeah. I love the way that low volume border really softens the quilt and makes it feels like those sugar plum candies, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's like Christmas quilts to me should be scrappy in my mind, because those are the ones I want to like cuddle up in, but yeah. I love a good scrappy quilt, so this is going to be fun.
Today we're going to be introducing you to the center of the block, and we're getting started with the center of the block so that we can make this hourglass design and then do a little bit of applique on it. Now today we're just going to do the hourglass block, and Sherry's going to walk us through the construction of the center of this beautiful quilt block.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to get started here. And before we work on our hourglass block, we are going to just show you the fabrics that are in our quilt and talk for a moment about the colors. So again, we mentioned that we used a couple of reds in ours. This was one in my stash that I had to use. It's just very delicate and it reminds me of Christmas. And we paired it with this snowflake, which I believe is the only Christmas fabric we have or wintry fabric. It looks like snowflakes to me. But so these are the two reds that we chose to put in the quilt. You could be making this in blues for winter or whatever you choose. But because we really wanted reds and greens, I think we chose fabrics that read a little more as a solid. But you know, we're mixing some nice prints in here. So you could go entirely with one red, you could choose two reds. However you want to go about it is totally up to you.
Now the same thing with your other color selections. Look at these greens. We have two different greens, but it really makes that star pattern pop out in the design. Now here on this block, we use the same two greens for the leaves. But then on the alternating block, we wanted to liven things up a little bit, so we added some lighter greens, some brighter greens to make this quilt really scrappy. Now we easily could have gone with one green for all of the star points, but we definitely need two greens to do the two-tone leaves. So we started off with two greens, made those for the leaves, and then said, let's go a little scrappier. We added two more greens for the leaves. So we have block 1 and block 2. We could have done two totally different greens for block 2. It's completely up to you. Now throughout the pattern, we have the colors broken down into 2 reds, 2 pinks, 2 whites, and we even did the 4 greens just like we have in our design. But you get to make those decisions for yourself. So here's our 2 different whites. We added 2 whites, but they could have been exactly the same all the way around this block. And the same with your pinks. We have 2 different pinks here, but we could have easily used this pink here as well and just used 1 pink. So do you want a scrappy quilt or do you want it more planned? That's your decision. We love a good scrappy quilt, and that's what we decided to do.
Yes, and I think also when Sue and I had this up on the design wall, it needed a little boost, a little, pizzazz. And this might seem like a really small, subtle shift, but it just gave it a little bit more energy. And when we stepped back and looked at it, we really liked using alternating colors. So,
you know what, Sherry? We even brought in 2 different fuchsia fabrics to give it that little bit of life and to make block 1 and block 2 just that much different.
Yes.
So have some fun with choosing your colors. The style of your quilt is going to depend on your style. So you might go more traditional. My next quilt is going to be a little bit more traditional than this, and anything goes. Again, you might choose a totally different colorway. So the back of the pattern shows you how much of each different color family, and the second page of the pattern in the cutting stage shows you how we broke it down to add more colors, more texture, and more scrappiness to your quilt.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do in today's video is walk you through the hourglass block, which is the base of the applique. So we're going to get set up and come back and show you how we did that. Okay, we are ready to work on our very first block. And the first block is our hourglass block, which is the foundation for the applique. So I've got 2 squares, right sides together. And I've gone ahead and used my ruler and marked a diagonal line from corner to corner. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on either side of this drawn line. And what I really love about this block is it's very forgiving because we are going to be trimming it to size when we're done. But if you haven't made an hourglass block before, this is one of my favorites because it's just easy to do, and you're going to see that. So I'm going to go ahead, sew those lines, and show you what to do next. So now that I have my sewn lines on either side of my center, I am going to take my ruler and I'm going to cut right on that drawn line here. So now I have 2 half square triangles, and I'm going to take these to my ironing board and I am going to press these seams open. So now I have my seams pressed open, and it is important to press your seams open for this block in particular because we're going to be adding applique. So when I press open, I stitch with a shorter stitch length of, maybe 1.8 or 2. So to try to help with the integrity of this seam, we're going to be adding applique over it in the next step. But once you've got these seams pressed open, you're gonna need to take one block and draw on the opposite diagonal. So I'm just lining this up. I'm going to mark it with my pencil. I have about 100 of these pencils, yet it's always a problem to find one. Okay, so I've got that marked. Now I'm going to place them right sides together, but I want to make them opposite. So a couple things that we're looking to do is line up our seams that we already sewed, so you can see our seams are lined up. And also just pull it back and make sure that you see the hourglass so you know you have it in the right positioning. All right, we're gonna flip it back. I'm gonna turn it this way because I need to make sure my seams are really lined up here. And you know, it's a little more challenging because we have the seams pressed open. Typically, if we had these pressed to the side, we'd be nesting these along this seam, but we don't have that luxury in this construction. So we're gonna match it up, pull it back carefully, try not to shift too much, and pin here, okay? And I'm going to double check it. It looks good to me. Put it back down. Now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same on this side. And this is where I'm going to be sewing. So I want this to be as accurate as possible. And that looks good to me. I'm gonna pull this back. Try not to shift and pin it again. And I'm double checking and it looks good, and I'm going to take it to my machine and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on this side and a 1/4 inch on this side. Okay, so I have sewn on either side of the line. I've given it a little press, took my pins out, and checked my work before I'm cutting to make sure that everything is accurate and in place the right way so I don't have to remake this block. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is just cut on this drawn line. Place that to the side. So once you've got these cut into two, you're going to open them up and you'll see that you have 2 hourglass blocks. Now I just want to point out one thing. What you can see here is that I've got my hourglass shapes, or the blue, the dark blue, in the same orientation, but my stripes are going in different directions, and that's quite all right. So each set of 2 blocks makes 2 of these hourglass blocks. So you're going to end up with 10. You'll have 1 left over. And sometimes what I do when I have an extra block is I make it into a quilt label for the back of my quilt. So that is an option for you.
I love that idea, Sherry. And another thing you can do is just make an extra block, and this makes a great size pillow.
Yes, it does.
So you're going to end up with those, if you use a stripe, just take 4 that go the same way and use that as the alternating block. This is block 1 and this is block 2. So in this one they're going sideways, this one they're going up and down, and it's really nice to have a little bit of variety.
Yes, so let's talk about the pressing for a minute.
Yeah, so we press these open because we're putting applique on top, and that applique also has a seam on it. So we just want to make everything as flat as possible. So by laying everything open on the back, it makes your applique nice and flat. So we will cover the applique in our next session, but you're getting all ready for that applique by making the hourglass block with open seams.
Okay, so that's all there is to this block, and I hope you enjoy making them. And next up, we're going to do the applique.
Fabulous. Sherry, I can't wait to see what fabrics you found when you went shopping. I took a shopping trip to my local discount fabric store, and I picked up some fabrics that I'm going to use for my next version of this quilt. And they're just a little bit more traditional than we went with our combined sample where we both dove into our stash.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about seeing this quilt in a little bit more traditional red and green Christmassy fabrics. So these are some of the fabrics that I chose. I'm not done yet. I still have to fill in a few little holes, and I'm going to be working on that color chart that's in the pattern, taking little snippets of these fabrics and fusing them onto that page, so I'll have a guide for my quilt. And I can't wait to see what you found when you went shopping.
Yes, oh, I had fun. But I wanted to mention, if you do the snippet chart, you should post a picture of it in the Facebook group so everybody can see.
That's a great idea, and you should too.
Yes, so if you use that chart that's in the pattern, feel free to share a photo of that, or just a picture of your fabric pull, you know, because we all love seeing fabrics. And I am pretty certain that some of you are going to really wow us going in different ways with this, because, you know, Sue and I both want a Christmas quilt. So it was very hard for us to stray. But I imagine some of you are going to come up with some really great combinations, and I can't wait to see those. But anyway, so I went to the fabric store. And I walked in, and I didn't fold these. The store folded these, like, so fun. This is Anna Maria Perry, and I am just loving this. This was right inside the front of the shop, and I was immediately drawn to it. It's got some fabulous colors, very yummy, okay? So that is that. And then this bundle was from the discount bin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I think I need to go there.
No, not until I get my fill. But yes, these were all in the discount section on the bolts. So I am in love. I look at this green.
Oh my gosh, that's
and
so gorgeous.
This second one, so fun. And the last one too, gorgeous. And I love that these are all, like, I've got a big floral, you know, I've got something that's a little more graphic. These are certainly very graphic and in different, you know, I'd say medium and small print. So I've got a lot going on here that can mix together quite nicely. And I'm challenging myself. If I make a block, I am not going to put things in the same place. So maybe my greens and my reds will be different. But then I found this fat quarter that I'm also somewhat obsessed with.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
Yes, I have no idea who it is because
There's
my
no
salvage doesn't tell me
it.
anything. But I think I need to go back to the shop and make sure there is not more of it that I can buy.
Do you think it's a coordinate to this one?
No, I
It's
don't think
not,
so.
okay.
No. But the colors all go really nice together.
They do, and it's got that stitching pattern.
Yes, so I really love this, and I love the idea because our original version is based more on color. I love the idea of getting some really crazy, bold, big prints and mixing those in another little smaller sample or a pillow or something. So I'm excited about that. And then this was just another bundle that I loved, this white. It's very delicate, and some wovens. You know, I love mixing some wovens in for some interest. So these are beautiful, and I'm loving the colors. And I'm also loving, I love all these things. I'm loving this polka dot too, because it's
so
got different
pretty.
colors in it, and that's fabulous. So maybe you'll see some of this as we move along, but Sue
You
and
might
I,
just want to save that for another project, though it's really special.
I don't know.
Fun to play with.
I also want to make, you know, and gosh, I have so many projects,
Don't
but
we
I
all?
really want to make my grandson a Christmas quilt for his bed.
Okay.
And maybe I'll make a mini version, or maybe I'll make something totally different. But
I can't wait to
some
see.
of this might go towards that because, yeah.
Gorgeous fabrics. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's so much fun to play. We can't wait to see what you're choosing for your quilts. That Facebook group is going to be a beautiful way for us to share that. And I did put my fabric pull on there. After looking at yours, it looks a little bit tame. I don't want to say boring, but just different and more traditional. So
Yes.
can't wait to see how the quilts start to come together.
Yes, absolutely. I'll put a picture of this in the group too, so everybody can see. And you know, I hope you all will share your pulls with us as well. And we will see you next time.
Take care, everyone.